Hi there, and welcome to your yoga class. This week we've got a really nice story for you. It's The Smartest Giant in Town, the book by Julia Donaldson and illustrated by Axel Scheffler. It's a lovely story of kindness. Yes, we'll get on with that in a minute, but first we have to sing our song that we sing at the beginning of every yoga class, don't we? So you can sing along, or you can just pat your knees, or you can do both. Okay, so let's go. 1, 2, 3. Say hello and namaste. Time for fun and yoga play. Am I ready? Yes, I am. Sitting on my mat. Well done. I could hear you singing from here. And then we get our lovely little friend out who joins us for every single yoga class there is. His name is That's right. It's a bit of a different name, isn't it? But after 3, we'll shout an and see if he'll come out for us. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. A nice long So here he comes. He's having a wee hide in his sleeping bag there. Do you see that? So let's get him out. Oh, he's a bit stuck in his sleeping bag. He's been in there so long. Here he is. He's all happy to be here, aren't you, Oh, yes, indeed. And loves this story because there's a dog in it, isn't there? Yeah, he loves any stories with dogs in it. He does. So he's going to sit in his yoga mat and watch us all do some yoga. That's right. There we go, Now only one more thing to do. We just have to sit on our bottoms, put our hands at our heart and say the magic word, which is Namaste. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Namaste. Lovely. Now, you might know this story, you might have read it already, but it doesn't matter if you've not. You'll still know the story after this anyway. And we're going to do lots of different yoga poses. It's really easy, just follow along. So first of all, we meet George. And George is a giant. Yes, he is. Let's stand up. Okay. Like a big giant. You're very wide and you're very tall. George was very big because he was a giant, but he was very kind as well. That's right. And he wore a lovely big gown and sandals. Let's put our legs apart and do a big gown pose. That's right. And let's have a look at our sandals. Put your hand on your hip, lift one leg up. Oh, and lift the other one up. Oh, he's feeling a bit scruffy. He thinks he needs to go and get some new clothes. So he goes to the shop. So let's go into the shop and we'll put our hands on our hips and look around the shop. What should I buy myself, he thinks, because he's not bought himself any new clothes in quite a while. That's right. So he gets himself a lovely warm scarf. That's right. Let's stand up and we have to wind our scarf around our head like this. And the other way. That's it. He gets a lovely stripy tie. Let's tighten our ties up like this. He gets a lovely pair of trousers. Let's put on our trousers with one leg in and the other leg in. And to keep his trousers up, he's got a lovely belt. That's right. So let's go like this to side with your hands around the belt area. That's it. Oh, and he got some lovely new socks and shoes as well. Let's do our standing on one leg again. Look at those shoes. And look at those shoes. He's feeling extremely smart indeed. So he leaves the shop to go on home. So he leaves the shop and all of a sudden he hears some sniffing. That's right. Can you do some sniffing? That's it. We go sniff, sniff, sniff. Then, okay? And it's a poor big giraffe crying. Let's do giraffe pose. So let's stand with our legs out wide and our hands right up for our big long necks. That's right. And just stretch right up. And George went up to the giraffe and he said, "What's the matter?" And the giraffe said, "Oh, I'm just so sad because my neck is getting so cold from the wind." And George said, "Cheer up. Why don't you have my scarf? It was getting too warm for me anyway. So he gave his scarf to the giraffe. Now remember how you wind your scarf? We go like this. He wound it round the giraffe's head. That's it. And wind it the other way. That's right. And the giraffe was so happy. He said, "Oh, namaste," to George, and George felt very happy because he'd helped the giraffe out. So next, he walked along the road away to his house. So let's walk. And as he walked, he sang a little song. That's right. Me tie is a scarf for a cold giraffe, but look me up and down, I'm the smartest giant in town. So he was on his way home, and all of a sudden, he came across a goat. That's right. Now we need to do goat pose. So we have to come down on our knees and put one foot forward and do our goat horns like this. That's it. And then let's do it to the other side as well. Keep your horns up. That's it. And to the other side. And this wee goat was standing at a river. Let's do river pose. Feet out to the front and hold onto your toes. Now you can bend your knees a little if you want, or you can keep them straight. And the goat was bleating quite a bit. And George said, "What's the matter?" And the goat said, "It's my boat." So the goat has got a boat. That rhymes, doesn't it? Let's do boat pose. Sitting on our bottoms, we put one foot up, 2 feet up, and your hands on the floor if you want, or you can come up with your hands too. And you can even straighten your legs if you want to. So the goat said, "It's the sail for my boat, it's all broken." And George said, how do we think? And he took off his shirt, the brand new shirt that he'd bought in the shop. So we need to stand up. That's it. Unbutton our shirt, all the buttons all the way down, and we need to take it off. So put your hands in the middle and stretch them wide. And he gave the shirt to the goat for a sail for his boat. So let's stand and hand it over. And he said, "Take my shirt. It was annoying me anyway." That's right. And so the goat was so happy because it made a wonderful sail for the boat. And what did the goat say as thank you? "Namaste." Thank you very, very much. So George strode on, ready to go home. So he's already given away his scarf and his shirt. That's right. So let's stride on. Me tie is a scarf for a cold giraffe. My shirt's on a boat as a sail for a goat. But look me up and down, I'm the smartest giant in town. And George was feeling very pleased because he'd helped out 2 of his friends, hadn't he? So next, he saw some little mice. And they were crying quite a lot. Let's go into mouse pose. We sit down on our heels and we put our head on the ground and we go squeak, 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 squeak. That's right. And they were squeaking quite a lot. And George said, "What's the matter?" And the littlest mouse said, "It's our house." Let's do a house pose. "Our house has been set on fire and it's burned down and we have nowhere to live." "Oh no," thought George. And he said, "I know. Why don't you have my shoe?" So he lifted up one leg and took his shoe off. He did. So let's turn round and give the shoe to the mice. And he gave the shoe to the mice and they used it as a brand new house. Let's do our house pose again. But it's a shoe now as well, isn't it? So George has only got one shoe on. That's right. But the mice said, "Namaste." That's right. And George felt very happy because he'd helped someone else out as well. So on went George on his way back to his house. But he can't walk this time. He's got to hop. He's only got one shoe. That's right. So let's hop on one leg. Me tie is a scarf for a cold giraffe. And my shirt's on a boat as a sail for a goat. And then change over your legs. And my shoes are house for a little white mouse. But look me up and down, I'm the smartest giant in town. That's right. So on he went, and then he met a fox. That's right. Let's do our fox pose. That's right. On your hands and knees, tuck your toes and pop your bottom up. Now we have to do a big fox bushy tail. So lift one leg up, wave that bushy tail, and then we'll do the other leg straight up. Wave that bushy tail. That's it. And the fox didn't look very happy at all, did he? Because What did he say? He said, "What's the matter?" to the fox. And he said, oh no, my sleeping bag got all soggy in the rain. Let's do some raindrops on our head. I've got nothing to sleep in tonight. That's right, because the fox was out camping in his tent. And so George thought for a minute and thought, and so he took off one of his socks and he said to the fox, "There you go, you could use that as a new sleeping bag. So let's lift up and take our sock off, okay? Do it on the other foot as well." That's it, just so that we're not all lopsided. We need to do the same on each side, don't we? So the fox was super happy and he said, "Namaste." And George felt very, very happy because he'd helped someone else out. And so he had to keep hopping along the road, didn't he? So let's hop on one leg first. "Me tie is a scarf for a cold giraffe." Then what was next? "Me shirt's on a boat is a sail for a goat." What was next, you remember? The mouse. "Me shoe is a house for a little white mouse." And now, what did the fox get? That's it. "Me sock is a sleeping bag for a wee fox." That's right. "But look me up and down, I'm the smartest giant in town." That's right. So he was hopping along quite a bit and then he met someone else. It was a dog. That's right. So we have to come on all hands and knees here and wag your tail and go woof, 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 woof. That's it. And the dog was in a bit of mud. That's right. Let's stand up and do some mud. So we go nice high knees. That's it. And the dog didn't look very happy. So George said to him, "What's the matter?" And the dog said, "It's this bog. I can't get across it. I keep sinking." And so George thought, and he thought, "I'll give him my belt. My belt'll make a lovely little path for him." So he undid his belt. Remember what we did for our belts? Rubbed our timmins a wee bit, that's it. And he gave it to the dog, and the dog said, "Oh, namaste." That's right. And they put it on the ground and it made a lovely path right across the bog. So we're going to walk across the belt. So stand and pretend there's a belt on your mat. So walk with your toes touching your heels along your mat as if you're going along the little path. That's right. So George felt super happy again, and so did the dog because he got a little helping hand. And so George strode on, ready to go home now. He'd had quite a lot of diversions along the way. So remember we were hopping? That's right. So me tie is a scarf for a cold giraffe. That's it. Me shirt's on a boat is a sail for a goat. What was next? Me shoe is a house for a little white mouse. Then we had my sock is a bed for a little fox. That's right. And then, what was next? Me belt is a path for a dog in a bog. But, me trousers are falling down. Let's cross our legs. That's it. Me trousers are falling down. I'm the coldest giant in town. So he'd given nearly all his clothes away to help other people, and now he was really cold. So, I better go back to the shop and get some more. So he went back to the shop. Let's walk really, really quickly. But he went back and the shop was closed. Oh no, so let's sit down. That's it. Put your knees up. That's it, and have a wee cry. Oh, he'd helped everyone else and forgotten all about himself. That's right, but he suddenly saw something round the corner of the shop. It was his sandals and his gown. Me sandals and gown. Oh, so he went and he put them on. Remember what we did for sandals? We look at each foot, lift your knee high, and look at the other foot, and then legs wide and do gown pose. That's right. Oh, I'm the cosiest giant in town. He was so happy because he got his old clothes back. So he walked along, giving a bit of a whistle. Very happy. And when he got home, he saw something at the front door. It was a big present, and with the present were all the animals he had helped that day. That's right. So they said, "Hello, George, hello, George." And he bent over and he opened the box. He picked, and there was a big gold crown inside the box. So he lifted the crown up, turned his hand round, and put it on. And then you can wiggle your fingers for the jewels on the crown. And with it was a letter from all the animals. That's right. I wonder what this letter said. So George opened up the letter, and inside it said, "Your tie is a scarf for a cold giraffe. Your shirt's on a boat as a sail for a goat, remember? Your shoe is a house for a little white mouse. One of your socks is the bed for the fox. Your belt helped a dog who was crossing a bog. So here is a very fine crown. Let's lift those hands up again, turn them to the front, and put your crown on and wiggle your fingers. That's it. Here is a very fine crown to go with your cosy sandals and gown of the kindest giant in town." And let's do a lovely wee heart shape with our fingers. Let's give ourselves a lovely cuddle. They all had a big group hug, and George was so happy his friends had remembered him. That's right, and everyone was so happy, and they all went in for a little tea party. So let's us have a little rest after all that walking. Let's lie down and let's have a little think about our story today. Feel how nice it is to be lying down, get all comfy on your mat. And let's think about how kind George was. What a lovely, lovely, kind giant. He gave most of his clothes away just to help his friends. But he forgot all about himself, didn't he? But luckily, George has very nice friends as well, and they didn't forget about him. So they gave him a lovely present and a thank you card. That's right. And George got his old clothes back anyway, which I think George was happier with. I think he liked his gown a little bit better, don't you? So that just goes to show that it's always nicer to be nice and kind and try and help people as much as you can. But remember, don't let your trousers fall down. No, that's not good. So a lovely story helped all of his friends, and everyone is so happy now after that lovely tale. So we're going to count back from 10 to 1 and see if we can lie super still. Are you ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Now we're just going to twiddle our toes a little bit and twiddle our fingers a little bit. And we're going to super slowly sit up. Can't rush this bit. No, you've got to sit up really slowly. Sit, cross your legs over. And then we're going to say our magic word again. We put our hands at our heart, and after 3, we say namaste. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Namaste. Well done. What a lot of lovely giants there were out there. Now let's see what Om thought of this. Om does like this one, don't you, Om? Oh, yes, he liked the last bit where the dog was crossing the bog. That's right. And what's that? Om says he would have just gone into the bog anyway and got lovely and muddy. Yeah, I think you would have, Om. Definitely. You would have needed a bath after it as well, I think. So thank you very much for helping Om and I that helped the smartest giant in town. What a lovely story. And so now you can tell everyone you know the story and you know the yoga poses too as well. So I hope you can join us again soon for another yoga adventure. I'll see you soon.